Hi there, welcome back to Let's Cook with Michelle. Today I'm going to make some homemade mac and cheese. So I've got 2 sticks of butter and flour. I'm going to create a roux with that. I'm going to use my Ninja to shred up all of this cheese, and then I'm going to create a sauce back here on my stove. But just wanted to show you my ingredients. Onion and garlic powder, pepper. I don't think I'll be needing salt, but I've got it here just in case. I'm going to do some milk and some heavy cream, so it's not quite as heavy with all heavy cream. But right now I'm going to get all my cheese shredded up here in my Ninja, and then we'll get the sauce going back here. So let's take care of the cheese first. These should fit right in my Ninja, just like this. So I turn on the disc. Okay, all the cheese is shredded. I can take off my little blade here and leave all the cheese in here. Take this part out, and then I will dump that into my sauce when I'm ready. All right, so we're gonna start making the sauce. First thing I'm gonna do, put in 2 sticks of butter. Turn that down a bit. Melt my butter. I've got my flour here to add some flour to make the roux. That's what makes the kind of thick paste. And then you add in your milk, your heavy cream. You can add in, chicken stock if you want to add some extra flavor. You can do lots of different things for the liquid moisture, for the type of flavor profile that you're looking for. Normally I put a little bit of Cholula hot sauce in my mac and cheese, but I'm out of it, and all I have left is my son's crazy mango habanero hot sauces, so I really don't want to chance that people may not eat the mac and cheese because it's too spicy, so I'm going to leave that out. But know that I normally would add a little bit of hot sauce to it. Butter is melted. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of flour. I don't typically measure here, so I'm going to mix it in until I get the thickness that I want. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm sure you can hear my daughter yelling for me. Just a minute, love. Heavy cream. You want to add your liquid gradually when you're making a sauce like this, because as you can see it's thickening up, and so it will thicken up, so you don't want to add a ton at a time, just to make sure you get the consistency that you want. Add it a little bit at a time until you're where you want to land. I like to make my cheese sauce a little runny, because when you bake it, you almost want it to look like soup, because when you bake it, all that cheese sauce is going to absorb into your noodles, and so it's going to be a lot less liquidy when you're done baking it than when you started. So make sure it's got a lot of sauce in there, almost looking like soup in my opinion. That's how I like it, so that it comes out nice and creamy once it's done baking. All right, so I've got this right now. I'm gonna add a little bit of seasoning to this. So I've got garlic powder, onion powder. No, I will not be adding raisins. Alright, so now it's pretty thick. I've got some seasoning in there. Now I'm going to add some milk. And keep in mind, once you add the cheese, that will thicken it up too. So I'm going to add the cheese to this pretty soon here. I need to get some new whisks. I only have metal whisks, and I really didn't want to use a metal whisk in this pan. The rubber one that I have over there, I'm seeing that there's a piece missing, so I don't want to use that whisk. Alright. Alright, so it's thinned out. Now I'm going to start adding in this cheese. Now there's a lot of cheese in here. All 3 of my cheeses are in here. It's going to be really cheesy. And I'm not salting this until I've added in everything that I want and that I've tasted it, because cheese, as you know, adds salt, so I don't want it to be overly salty, so I'm not adding any salt until I get this where I want it and see if it needs it still. And I have my oven preheated to 400 so that I can bake it. When I'm done here, look at all that cheese. This is not for the lactose intolerant. Alright. And I am going to save a little bit of this cheese to put on top when I put it in the oven as well. Alright, let's taste it. Ooh, cheesy. Yep, definitely not going to add any salt at this point. I'm going to add just a touch more milk. Just a little bit more pepper. Yeah, it definitely doesn't need salt. You could add some red pepper flakes here to give it just a little bit of heat. I like hot sauce, like I said. There's a lot of different things you can do to change this up. You could add bacon. You could do a lot of different things. Alright, so I've got my sauce where I want it. Okay, so I have a 2-pound box of elbow macaroni that I cooked up. This is only about half of it that I have in here. So I'm going to make sure that I get it good and covered with lots of cheese sauce. I want it to be, like I said, I want it to have lots and lots of cheese sauce to throw this in, because it's going to soak up all the sauce. So I can always save some of the noodles for something else, but I want it to be extremely saucy. Alright, it's looking good, but we want it to be really runny here. Excuse me covering your view for just a second. Okay, got all of the sauce in there, and look how creamy and cheesy that is. I'm not adding in more of the pasta. I might actually add in just a little bit more milk. Alright, give us a mix. Make sure it's nice and creamy, and then I'm going to taste it quickly here. You always want to taste it throughout the process so you know how it is. Make sure it's seasoned enough. I'm sure that some people like more seasoning than me, so definitely do it your way. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more of this cheese in here. Okay. And like I said, the rest is going to go on the top. Alright, now get this pan out of the way. My kitchen's going to be fun to clean after this one. Alright, so now I have my pan that I've already sprayed. I'm going to go ahead and dump this all in. This made a lot. Parents will definitely be going home with some mac and cheese today. Alright. This is a really big, deep pan, so this is a lot of mac and cheese. Alright. Got that. Let's top it with the rest of this cheese. And then we'll pop it in the oven for a little bit here. Melt this cheese. No shortage of cheese in this dish, for sure. Alright, let's go ahead and pop this in the oven. I'm going to put it in. I'm not cooking it for too long because if you do plan on baking it for a while, you want to make sure that you undercook your pasta so that it doesn't get mushy when you bake it longer. So I am just going to put this in at 400 for maybe about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I just want it to get nice and golden brown because it's cooked and the pasta was cooked through enough that I don't want it to cook anymore. So I'm going to pop this in the oven at 400 for about maybe 10 minutes. And then we will take a look at it together. That looks so good. She's loaded with cheese. Mac and cheese is done. It's bubbly and brown. Oh, it's a load. Look at the bubbly cheesiness. I'm gonna scoop some into a bowl, but I'm gonna have to let it sit for a couple of minutes before I dig into this because I don't want to burn myself. But look at how cheesy and gooey. A little bit of that cheese on top. Alright. I'm going to let this sit for a couple of minutes and come back. Okay. I let it cool for a little bit. Look at it. Yum. Really cheesy and creamy. Still piping hot, so I'm probably going to burn myself right now, but we're going to try it. That's good. You know what would give it the perfect touch? A touch of fresh shredded Parmesan on top. That's what I would do to make this absolutely perfect. This is really good. Creamy, cheesy, makes a huge batch. I have about half of my noodles left in the fridge that I cooked to make for something else. So this is really good. Put this on your list. I appreciate you joining me today on Let's Cook with Michelle. Make sure you check out all of my other videos and content on Let's Cook with Michelle. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, and all of my full videos are always on YouTube. That's good. Add some shrimp to that, crab.